Hi, how are you?
Spectating, or did you sign up for?
Oh, I didn't know you had to sign up ahead of time.
Yeah, so that's okay. And you're
On
more
the
hatched
border.
than wagon.
Look at you. You who were once so proud. Go now and never return.
All right, well, we did fail to sneak our way into Avant's WagonFest over here in Mesa, Arizona, but it's not going to stop us from having a good time. There's a lot of cars out here, a lot of beautiful builds, and we're actually going to go through, we're going to give you guys a tier list on some of the cars here today. Welcome to GainThroughRisk. Let's get down to it. The ranking system, we're going to keep pretty simple. We're going to base things off of 3 categories. Practicality, which they're mostly going to be wagons, so it's going to score pretty high. The uniqueness of the mods on the vehicle, and then finally, how rare the vehicle is. So we're going to go take a look, we're going to rank everything, and see what you guys think. So unfortunately, they're playing a lot of music in there. I don't want to get copyrighted on YouTube, so we're going to do a voiceover and we're going to take a look at some of these cars and we're going to go and rank them.
All right. First up on the chopping block, we've got this Saab 9.3 Aero. Honestly, the owner did some very cool things to this car that I've never seen before. Obviously, the ones that are going to stand out the most are those Alfa Romeo Quadrifoglio wheels. Behind that, some CTSV brake calipers. Never seen that done on a Saab before, but I actually kind of like it. Aside from that, there are some carbon bits around the car. Of course, you got to have the roof box. This is kind of just the epitome of wagons. It works quite well. Unfortunately for the Saab, they're not very rare vehicles, although it is beautiful. So to kick our tier list off, I think this Saab's going to land right here at B tier. All right, coming up next, we have this, what I believe is a B8 generation Audi S4 Avant. Very clean car. Again, gotta have the roof box, gotta have some carbon lips on there, and I believe this looks to be on air ride suspension as well, because this thing is slammed on its nuts. But aside from that, it does have some TE37s, which I'm always a sucker for TE37s. Beautiful car, beautiful build. Unfortunately, again, not very rare, but the parts on here are very nice, as well as the car itself is very clean. So for those reasons, I believe this is gonna edge out that Saab just a little bit to break into our A tier bracket. Alright, on to this Buggey WRX wagon. These things, they hold a little bit of a special place in my heart just because growing up in Colorado, you'd see them all the time, you hear the rumble, and you know exactly what to expect with them, and the wagons, they're just that much cooler. This vehicle in particular, looks like the paint has been very well maintained on it. Pretty much stock, which is not a bad thing. They come with a lot of stuff that you already need. It's got the BBS wheels, it's got the nice brakes on there, and of course a flat 4 turbo. Not really much to complain about on that department, but aside from that, this one does have a roof rack with some skateboards on there, not a roof box. Still practical, but at the end of the day, I believe this thing, it's clean. It's not super rare, but I think we can still get this A tier. Moving on now to what I think is probably the most unique vehicle at this car show. It's a Pontiac GTO wagon, which I'm not super familiar with, but this one of course has been fully resto modded, so glassy paint on the outside, fresh wheels, a full custom interior, and of course every resto mod has to have an LS in it. Now, as far as rarity goes, I'm not really sure how rare these vehicles were. It is a 2-door wagon with no box on it, so not quite as practical, but still a beautiful build overall, so I believe this guy deserves at least A tier. Going now to all the way of the opposite end of the spectrum of the GTO is this Datsun W510. This thing is completely stock. The patina on it has not been touched since the 70s, but I absolutely love it. This car is still running and driving in 2026 with, I'm sure, a little bit of TLC. Overall, the thing is very well kept for what it has. Obviously, there's quite a bit of rust in the chassis, but it still gets driven, it's still unique, and it still gets loved by someone, which I think is totally awesome. Aside from the obvious, obviously it's got some defects and it is fairly stock, which is nothing against the owner, but for those reasons, this thing is going to have to go down in the B tier. And now we're on to the wagon that I've been dreading. It's the new M5 Touring, and from what you can tell, it's completely stock. I understand he's under warranty. I would do the same thing, but I don't know if I can consider this a wagon outside the body style. Yes, it matches the shape, but this thing is pushing 6,000 pounds. And of course, the BMW guys are going to say, oh, it makes almost 800 horsepower. That's besides the point. Your shooting brakes have always been something where they have a mix of performance, handling, and style. This one meets 2 of those marks, but I don't know if this deserves a place on this tier list that most people are going to agree with me. So, unfortunately, for you BMW guys, this thing is going to land all the way down on C tier. Up next is by far the most creative build in this whole car show. It is a Lexus IS300 Sport Cross, plus another Sport Cross sitting behind it. This thing was super cool. It had the attention of everyone at the car meet, and rightfully so. You never see someone chop off the back half of a car and turn it into a trailer, so I think that's super creative, and it was super well done. Aside from that, the car itself is fairly stock. You do have the Altezza front bumper, you do have some carbon bits in there, but if you take a peek on the inside, it is factory manual, which is extremely rare in these. So with all of this put together, the creativity, the rarity of having manual transmission in an IS300, I do believe this guy is going to be the first car to break into our S tier bracket.
Approved!
On now to what I think is my favorite wagon of all time. This is a Nissan Stagea, but it's not just any normal Stagea. This one is the Autech 260 RS, and essentially what that means is Autech took the regular Stagea, put a RB26 in the front, an R33 drivetrain behind that, some body kit panels, some interior bits that are specific to this vehicle, and essentially turned this normal station wagon into a GTR in sheep's clothing. So you don't see a whole lot of these. I believe there's around 1,700 ever made, so they're super rare. Either way, it was by far the coolest car at this whole car meet, and for the rarity and the specialty of this vehicle, it's a no-brainer at where this guy belongs, way up here in S tier.
Approved!
Moving on to another insanely rare JDM wagon. This one here is a Subaru Legacy Tommy Kyra edition. Now, for those of you that don't know, Tommy Kyra is another Japanese tuning shop, mostly known for their Nissan and Subaru works. They did also make a vehicle, the Tommy Kyra ZZ, which was kind of compared to the Lotus Elise, but either way, very renowned shop. They have very cool stuff on this car, from the body kit on here, all the special interior components in here, as well as the 2-liter twin-turbo Boxer engine, which there was not very many of. You saw it in a few Imprezas and a few Legacies of the time, but either way, these cars are super cool, super rare, and again, a little bit of bias on here, but this has to go S tier for how rare this vehicle is.
Approved!
Up next, we have this Mercedes E500 wagon. These things always look really good. They've aged very smooth, but this one in particular does have the monoblock wheels on it. I'm assuming some sort of air ride suspension with how low it is. These things actually did have factory air suspension in them, which is really cool. Roof backs on the top, and then I think the coolest party trick on this is it does have those rear-facing bucket seats. Is it as practical as having the storage? That depends if you got 7 people in the car or not, but either way, this thing's been very well done. I love the look on this thing. I think we're going to give this guy A tier. On to the third JDM wagon of the day. This is the Toyota Caldina GTT. Now, don't let its looks fool you, this is a sleeper. This is powered by the same engine that powered the Toyota Celica GT4, and it has a similar all-wheel drive system to it. These things, they're very understated, but they're very quick for what they are. The particular model we're looking at today has the set of Rays 57s on there, has a little roof spoiler on the rear, and I'm sure it's got some work under the hood as well. But these vehicles, they're simple, they're beautiful, and they're functional. It's the way Japanese work, it's the way I like it. This vehicle, with it being around 8,000 units made in total, I think it deserves A tier. Up next is something truly crazy. This vehicle started life as a Dodge Caliber, but has been since converted to have a Challenger front end, but not just the front end, the engine and the interior as well. That's right, this has the 6.2 liter supercharged V8 that you can find in modern Hellcats, and it's bonkers. I'm not a Dodge guy at all, but this has been done so well. All the body lines match up, the interior panels fit, everything is done as if this rolled off the showroom from Dodge. Now, aside from that, it does have some lips on it, it does have the aftermarket wheels and Brembos on there, but overall, like I said, not a Dodge guy, but this is so unique. It's got 4 doors. I didn't know I would love this, and for that, we're going to put this guy all the way back at S tier.
Approved!
Alright, coming down the home stretch now, we have this Mercedes-Benz 300 TD wagon. Now, the concept on this I actually really like. Everything here is lowered for the most part. This is one of the only cars here that is lifted. I hope it actually gets used, and it looks like it does because it's pretty abused, but those big old tires, the big lift kit, I think it's very fitting for this vehicle, and the fact that it's still the turbo diesel, I love that. Now, like I said, it is a little rough. It obviously gets used. Nothing against the owner. I'm glad that he uses it, but it is in rough shape, so for that, I am going to have to put this down at B tier. Rounding out the set for our German cars is going to be this Mercedes-Benz R-Class. Is it a minivan? Is it a station wagon? I think it's more of a minivan, but either way, this one has been wrapped with a metallic brown. It does have some nice wheels on it, as well as being lowered a little bit. Overall, I think this is a very nice build for a daily driver. Obviously, you can fit the kids in the back and then some. I think it's still a minivan though. I don't know if we can put it on this list, but since it is here, we're going to throw it down at B tier. The final vehicle on our tier list is going to be this Honda Accord wagon. This one, again, lowered a little bit, has some nice tri-spoke wheels on there, but the Honda Accord wagons are a little bit more common. This one is pretty much stock for the most part and is in a little bit of rough condition. Obviously, it's still a wagon, it's still practical, it's still cool, but at the end of the day, this is probably one of the more common and rougher builds that we've seen today. So, to round out our set today, unfortunately, my friend, you're going to end up down at C-Class.
Well, despite us not making it into the show because, well, that little orange bean is not a wagon. A lot of cool cars, a lot of cool people out here. And of course, a big thank you to FCP Euro and Avant for putting on this amazing show. Hopefully we get to see you guys next year as well. Let me know down below in the comments if you guys agree with my ranking system, if you guys would have changed anything. But until the next time, guys, remember to follow God, take risks, and we'll see you next time.